Yeah. Like, did you show them the script, like, or you shot the movie, then you just gave them the movie? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how you pre-sold it, did you show them the script, or did you shoot like the movie and just give it to them? Like
So I told them I was going to make a horror movie that was going to be like supernatural, and they asked me like what it would be about, and so I wrote out like a treatment. And they're like, okay, cool. And then from there, I made the script, and then
just shot it
went into production. Well, they put up an MG, and what you do with that is it's like a minimum guarantee. It's them like you bank that paper, so they give you like a contract that says they're going to spend X amount of dollars on this movie when it's done and completed, and you take that MG, bank it, so you'll go to like either a private investor, depending on how big the MG is. You either go to private equity or you go to, you know, one of these finance companies that will finance it for a fee. So they'll take like, you know, let's say, using round numbers, let's say it's like $100,000 MG, they'll give you like $85,000 for that. So that, and then they take over the contract. So they become the name on the contract, so they get paid out as soon as the movie's delivered. And then you have a certain amount of time that you have to deliver it for the MG to be fulfilled.
So then you only have $85,000 for the film to make then?
Correct. Unless you sell foreign and raise, you know, or unless you raise equity against what foreign would do. You know, it depends. It really depends. It depends on what you're going to do and you know what you believe. So either you know sell the foreign and the domestic and you know use those to make the movie, or what you do is you raise a little bit of money, then sell the domestic, and then you know make it for that. And so you kind of play both of them together. There's different combinations depending on what kind of movie you're making and what your budget range is.
And I guess going for, or how do you even get in to say, hey, I'm making this movie? How do you get meetings or networking, getting in there to getting?
I mean, a lot of that is being able to show that you've done stuff. So it's one of these chicken and the egg things. So that's why I keep saying like, try and do something or get somebody involved that's done stuff, but try and do something that's kind of, you know, geared towards what you can afford and then go from there. Because if you can show them something and say, hey, this is what we've done, this is what it looks like, I can do something similar to this, and we're looking at getting like this talent, and this talent, and try and get them to agree to, you know, like 30 different cast names, and you know, you'll be like, I'll get like 2 of these people. And so that way, like you have 30 people to work off of, you know, or like 40 people to like try and get to fulfill what they want.
Given that you're in the dependent filmmaking world, do you often work with casting directors, and do you feel that's a worthy investment?
I have worked with casting directors before. I like casting directors, but as a producer, a lot of the times I have to be my own casting director because you're going after the cast that fulfills, you know, what the distributor wants. And so you have to do that and lock that in first. And a lot of the time, you know, when you're doing that, you have to give these roles to them, so you end up with not a lot of roles left.
Going back to the minimum guarantee, is $100,000 about like an average that you might get for?
It really depends on the movie. Like I mean, you could get like it's such a sliding scale. It's, you know, I know people that are getting MGs that are like, you know, over 3 million, but like I'm not getting those, but I know people who are. So it's, you know, it's such a sliding scale. It's, you know, it's not always 100,000. It's sometimes less. Sometimes it's like, you know, 25,000. Sometimes it's, you know, 3 million. So it really just depends. So, you know, I think it depends on your package. It depends on what the market is looking for at the time. And it depends on, you know, do they believe that you'll be able to deliver on time and stuff like that. So, and it depends on what cast you have. But I think concept is key for sure. You know, if you have like a high concept horror movie that is, you know, smart, contained, and it has like a good cast, you can get, you know, a good MG when it comes to horror. Action, you're going to get a much bigger MG because action does much bigger overseas, and you need more to be able to make the movie. And you know, you'll have more towards a bigger cast. So I think, you know. The other thing is attracting actors to horror movies is much harder. So the key about doing that for a horror movie and when you're writing a horror movie is, yes, create the beats, create a smart story, have it be, have scares in it, but don't just have them be like, cheap scares. Create real human people with real human problems, and on a base level, figure it out as a drama with horror elements. And that's how you're pitching it to the actors, and then how you're pitching it to the distributor is that it's a straight up horror movie. So you're kind of having both, and when you can do both, and the story works as both, that's when you're going to have like a stronger viability.